Guy here again, Holyoke, Massachusetts. It is July 30th, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about propagating your plants, specifically elderberries. So I have a few different elderberry plants. You can see this one behind me. This one's been up here for about 2 years. It really has taken off and is doing fantastic, and has a bunch of extra foliage that I can take and actually turn into new plants. It's a really easy process. So here, let me show you what I do. So first, what you're going to want to do is take a cutting of the green wood. So you see where that turns, goes down pretty far. These grow a lot in a year. So anything that's green is going to grow a lot easier than the older wood, so you want to get the ends. What you want to do is cut about a 6 to 9 inch piece of the branch, and you want to do this probably in the springtime. Right now they are fruiting, so they're putting most of their energy into that. So you don't want to take cuttings now. It would probably work, but definitely recommend doing it when the plant is focusing on growing its branches and its foliage. So here's a cutting that I took a bit earlier, like a month or two ago, and I just went and I put it in a jar of water. I change the water every couple days probably, and this is what I have now. See all those roots that grew? Some plants grow roots easier than others. I've found that the elderberries are fantastic at growing roots. You can get willow cuttings as well and put it in with them, and the willows are great at rooting as well, so they'll produce rooting hormone, and they'll actually cause other plants to grow better as well if they're with them. Here's some gooseberries. I just put these in, so they're not growing any roots yet. I don't know if they will. I'm just doing an experiment with that. The other one I'm doing an experiment with that I just took cuttings from today are mulberries. And these have little white spots on them, just like the elderberries did. So I'm hoping that they will be able to grow roots pretty well too. Before putting the cutting into the water to grow roots, you want to make sure that you cut off a bunch of the leaves. You really don't need any of the stuff at the bottom. In fact, you only want a little bit at the top. You still want it to be able to get some sun energy and produce energy, but the more leaves you have, the more moisture and energy it's going to take from the bottom. So you sort of want to make a happy balance. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off some of these leaves. You can cut pretty heavily. And at the end here, I am going to cut off this last sleeve. If it's close, you can even cut part of a leaf off, and that would work. I think that's still a lot, so I'm going to cut off this last one entirely. So when you're done, you're going to want it to look about like this. And before I put it in water, I cut off the end just to make sure it can freshly get the water that it needs to. So that's perfect for a cutting right there. Next thing you're going to want to do is plant them in the ground once they get large size roots. This is probably fine to go in the ground now. It's probably fine to stay in here as well. I have already taken some and planted them in the ground, so I'll show you how those are doing right now. So after about a month or two of letting it root in the jar, I planted them out here once they had a nice established root system. The one I was just showing you has been out here for at least 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I have a few smaller ones that I put out more recently that are doing great as well. It's important to remember when you first put them out, you really do want to make sure that you're watering them very regularly. They're a little more susceptible to dying and stuff early on. I have one over here that died. I don't know that that one's due to lack of water, but I stepped on it. It didn't seem to like that, so don't do that. So that's about all I have. So if you have a plant that is doing very well and has a lot of extra foliage, I'd recommend just taking some cuttings, again, 6 to 9 inches, placing them in water and see if they root. I'm doing some experiments with gooseberries, mulberries, currants are a great one to do that with. Try anything, really. And then you can share it with your friends and family if you want, or you can just have more of that plant yourself. So yeah, if you have any questions or any tips or anything, I'm pretty new to this as well, so I'd love to share ideas. Thanks for listening to my video today.